Brilliant team. We're back for another coaching session. This coaching session is around proactive match control as a referee. So, as I like to coach out there too, is be proactive, not reactive. Okay. There's a lot of cases as referees where we seem to be reactive to situations where we could be proactive in a lot of cases too. I think like that's almost every day-to-day life, isn't it, Team? We seem to be more reactive to things than we are proactive to things. We're always quite like that, but we got to take it step at a time. But a lot of things can be in a football match, a lot of things can be prevented if we pick up on it straight away. So be proactive, not reactive. So, how does being proactive help you as a referee? It allows more flowing game. It improves that ball in playtime, builds presence with players, aids match control and game management, helps build relationships with players, allows technical areas to understand your decisions too. So, a lot of this proactiveness comes around your communication, being personable as a referee takes away surprise decisions. So, there's a player that's holding, you're not just pinging a hold, you're just going careful, careful, hands down, hands down. And then you can ping a foul, okay? Because they're not listening. You're able to call it after that. But we're being proactive there. We're letting them know what our expectations are. And if they exceed beyond our expectations in those situations, we're able to call the foul and there's no questions really asked. Helps you be more transparent and protects the standard and the referee community from dissent and frustration. I think there's a lot of cases here, and I put a lot of these things into something I like to call money in the bank. And I don't mean the money in the bank that a WWE you can cash it in and you win it that way.
You
Okay, I
definitely
kind of
do.
mean
You
money in the
definitely
bank
do.
for in situations where you've been able to bank it up for 92 minutes of a game and you've got to call a penalty in the last minute of the game. Everyone trusts you because you've been proactive throughout the game. You've not been reactive to situations. So you're able to cash in all your money in the bank for that one decision in the 92nd minute.
I think one other thing I'd like to add to there as well is it shows that you are being consistent with your decisions. So it takes away perceived inconsistency when you're being proactive and communicating proactively because you're telling people what to do and then you're executing on that. And therefore they recognize that as consistent decision making. So then in the 92nd minute, again, you've built a reputation as a consistent referee.
Yeah. I think I'm just smirking myself because I'm just expecting a 92nd minute Seth Rollins situation, mate. And the referee rolls in with the money in the bank, drops it in. We're able to
Should we
call the
stay on? Should we
penalty
stay on topic? Who knew it was you going off topic, not me?
So, what to identify with proactive match control? So, proactive match control helps the referee manage the overall footballing event. Okay. So, pre match, we want to be looking professional. We want to make sure we're arriving to a venue in our dress attire correctly. And we're also looking professional. Okay. We're not rocking up in board shorts and flip flops. Okay. We need to make sure we've got a dress attire for a reason. We're arriving with our Football Queensland polos on. Okay. And we're able to be identified as the referees if we have time, because I know there's games where they have got back to backs, or in some situations, you got back to back to back with 3 games. But with that first game of the day, it's really important that you carry out a pitch inspection, okay? Because it's on you as the referee to know what areas of the pitch need to be fixed up before the game. And you've got to have a chat to the club representative before the game starts to want to make sure they get fixed. Warming up is really important. I don't want anyone pulling a hammy who just rocks up to the game, sits in the change room, goes out on the pitch, and you pull the hamstring because you didn't warm up before a game. Warming up before a game is really important, okay? No matter what age bracket, all right? Warming up before a game is really important, okay? Managing law 4, so that players' equipment, and we'll touch point on that in the next few slides. And upholding and outlining technical area standards with occupants. So we're talking pre-match as well. If we're able to talk to the coaches or we're able to talk to the players before the game, we're able to set standards there, especially if they're warming up or they're in their own change rooms. I'm not necessarily saying referees walk into the change rooms. I'm just saying if there's an opportunity, we're able to introduce ourselves, go through the expectations there. That's totally fine. The other time you can do it too is just before kickoff. If you're the assistant referee one, is before kickoff, just let the referee know, hey, I'm going to introduce myself to the benches and the expectation. You can go off and do that. And you've already outlined your name, your expectations, make sure the players got bibs on, make sure we're not warming up with balls on the sideline, little things like that. So when it comes to it during a game, you have to remind them of the expectation. They already know what it was because you said it and communicated it before the game. In play, verbal communication in play, and like open play and set pieces. So, like I mentioned earlier, if we've got to pull the shirt, hands down, hands to yourself. Okay, it's gone too far. We're able to call the foul. Okay, we're able to communicate that there. Giving advantage, really important as well. We don't just raise our arm. Okay, we got to yell it too. It's really important. We got to yell it as well. Managing equidistant or equal distance or 50-50 challenges, using correct that, like managing those is really important. Like we get those right early on because 9 times out of 10, the series challenges come from that one challenge there earlier on in the match too. Using correct sanctioning techniques, consistently applying technical area standards, so upholding obviously your expectations that there were before the games, not just as the assistant referee, but as the referee, and only the captain's guidelines, as previously mentioned in the other video, where we went through that expectation there. It should only be the captains that are talking to the referees, okay? But it's not it's not every second of the game and every decision of the game, okay? It's really important to note, like, as a referee, we're able to communicate, we're able to be personable, we're able to also let teams know about decisions, but really, like, that comes down to being proactive, communicating that. But you don't have to communicate every single decision during a game because sometimes it can be over the top with the players. But really, if someone asks a question, don't just stick your hand up and walk away or ignore them. Respond to it in a respectful manner in what the decision was, okay? And we could get on with the game there, all right? Respect is really key there. We've got to be really respectful because if we're not respectful, then vice versa, it's not going to go well the other way too. I'll let you touch point on this one here, Adam.
Cool. Can I just quickly go back onto the last slide
Yeah, mate,
quickly
yeah.
and just say something? I think the other thing that's really important is I think a lot of referees will probably think, well, how's it fair that I'm being judged on my match control and like how I'm being perceived as a referee based on everything pre-match, like showing up, doing my warm up, like the two are separate and they're just not. Like if you build that reputation before kickoff, then it's going to give you like that money in the bank that Brad was talking about in your game throughout, and it might just give you that 5% you need to keep players on side and to help you. So it might seem a little bit odd that all of that leads to making better decisions on the field and managing your game better. But trust us, it really, really, really does help. So please work on that as well. Law 4, the player's equipment. So it's really important that we uphold all the standards of Law 4 for safety of participants and for just making sure that those standards are met across football and that we're standardizing what can be expected. Because when one referee comes along one Saturday and upholds it, and then the other referee doesn't, it undermines everybody's credibility and match control. So we would say pre-game in the tunnel, during the warm-up, whenever's an appropriate time. Make sure that all the equipment is checked prior to kickoff, either by the referee, if you're on your own, or the ARs. If I'm on my own as a referee, I just ask the coach as they're warming up to call all the players in, get them into a circle, and I go around every player and just check they're going to wear their shin pads. I'm going to ask them to remove their jewelry, and I'm going to check they're on the shirts of the right color. And I set that standard early in a proactive manner. And if I've got assistant referees, I'll get them to do it as players are coming out of their dressing rooms and kind of standing in the tunnel. The main things we need you to remember with this that must be upheld is undershirts have to be a single color, which is the same color as the main color of the shirt sleeve, which is generally going to be what you're going to come across. There's another quirk on it that it can replicate the patterns of the shirt sleeve, but I don't know a single club that does that. It's normally just a block color. So just make sure it's the same color as the whole sleeve. Undershorts must be the same color across the same team. So you haven't got one player wearing blue undershorts and one player wearing red undershorts. It has to be the same across the whole of the team, and it has to be the same color as the main color of shorts or the lowest part of the shorts. But again, it has to be the same color. So whatever one player is chosen to use, every player in the team has to choose to use that as well. Spectacles. We did have an issue in 2025 of somebody wearing spectacles on the field of play and somebody else suffering a severe injury because of it. So they must be sports spectacles. And this is outlined in the laws of the game. This is very clear. So if you're the referee that goes, I'm sorry, this person can't play because they're wearing glasses like what I'm wearing now, as opposed to sports spectacles like in the image on screen, then you're well within your rights. It's within the laws of the game, and that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. It's a surprise to people because we don't uphold that standard across our competitions. Earrings, bracelets, nose piercings, necklaces, jewelry of any kind can't be worn, or it can't be taped over. So make sure if you see someone with tape on their wrist, chances are they've done that because they're covering a bracelet or something like that. It's got to come off. Wedding rings are a common one. No studs, earrings. You'll see tape on those all the time, and we have examples of that as well. So just make sure you're asking them to remove that. And if you suspect there's something under the tape, just ask them to remove the tape so you can see. And if there's not, no problem. They can still wear the tape. Socks, they can be cut off and show a different color of the main sock. However, it must distinguish them from their opponents and the match officials. So obviously we wear black socks, so no one can technically wear black cut-off socks. And then shin guard straps and sock tape. These must be the same color of the part of the sock that it is covering. So if they're wearing blue socks, it has to be the same shade of blue across that sock. Now, all that's quite technical, but there are proactive ways in which we can manage it. So if you just move on to the next slide for me, please, Brad. So here's the practical advice. Just be proactive and check it before the game and before they get changed for the match. And then you're upholding that standard. Delegate each team to an AR just to save time and to help things. Ask players to remove hairbands from their wrists, and they can either put it in their hair, or I just say tuck it in your sock. And then they've still got their hairband for them, as opposed to removing it entirely. Ask players to put their shin guard straps under their socks. If they're not willing to change the color of them, or they don't have a different color, but they still want to wear them, they can just put them under their socks and pull their sock over the top. No problems there. Obviously, check that players' undershirts and shorts match their kit's predominant color. And then with that, if you've got an undershort that's a different color, just ask them to roll it up so you can't see it throughout the game. That's a great way around it. Obviously, be mindful of who you're asking that of and how, and sort of, the social contract there in society. But, if you're just asking them to roll it up so you can't see it, and then they go and do that, that's absolutely fine. When challenged, if you're trying to uphold this and somebody comes along and says, well, that's not true, this isn't true, why are you doing this, that's not fair, which can happen, then just use your laws of the game app. Just be like, and obviously you're in pre-match, so it's fine, you can have your phone on you or something, and just say, look, it's here in the laws and I'm just instilling this. So it doesn't make you the enemy, you're just upholding what is written in front of you, and no one can argue with that. It's an objective way of taking yourself out of the problem, and then you don't become the problem. The problem is the fact that the team have chosen to ignore the laws of the game. And then if challenged even further and it creates further issues, just complete an instant report, and then Football Queensland can take that up with the club themselves. So in the photos you can see we've got a player with tape over her earring, top right. You've got yellow undershirts on blue predominant sleeves. You've got white sock shin guards over blue socks. You've got a hairband in the bottom right hand corner. And you can see you've got cut off socks with sort of white showing, and that might be okay because they might be the only, the other team might not be wearing white socks. But if the other team are wearing white socks, that could potentially be a problem.
I think like on to add on that as well, Adam, that second last point you mentioned too, when you are challenged, there are going to be situations where players, coaches, teams are going to say, well, the referee last week let us do this.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, it's not an excuse. Okay, you're the referee for this week. Doesn't matter what the referee did last week. Unfortunately, in that situation, they've let the team down because this is an expectation that we're wanting to uphold. We're upholding the laws of the game and the integrity of the game. This is what we're wanting to have. So we got a referee for next week's referee. You don't want to be that referee where, hey, the referee last week let us do this. Guys, it's an expectation. So with added to what Adam said there as well, like in this situation here, if we're looking at that bottom right hand corner, we've got a player whose kit is black with the white on the sleeves. Okay. And we can see there's a little bit of that black trim just on the edge of that sleeve there. Guys, the predominant color that's on the sleeve is white. So the expectation would be it needs to be white skins that is under there, or white undershirt that is under there too. Okay. That's really important. I know there's a lot of teams out there as well where they've just got that little trim on their sleeve, and it's believed that that's the color that's got to be. It's not. It's the predominant color that's on your sleeve there. And especially, we don't want to be having players where, and like this one here, we've got hairbands on the wrists. Okay, we see hairbands on the wrists. Tell them to take it off. Okay, whatever they do with it, it's up to them. Okay, but it's really important that we're in control there. Okay, we're holding our expectations. We're setting the standards of the game, especially if you're officiating the highest level of football within your region. If you're officiating the highest level of football within your region, you are upholding those expectations because that is the highest level and it goes from the top all the way down. That's what we want. That's the standard we want to be holding. Okay.
Yeah.
we also want people to
Mhm.
rise to the top. We don't want people to sink to the bottom. And that's really the choice here.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the beginning of the season, it's the law for especially equipment is meaning is the our image of the game, how we protect our player in a safety area.
Mm.
So this is we need to more proactive in the beginning of the season. So all one team, especially referee team, to be aware this proper, they can wear the right equipment as well.
And look, you may have well been in a game and you've never had any of this equipment cause a safety issue. But I've been a referee for pushing nearly 20 years now. I guarantee each one of these instances I have had an issue caused with and the safety of a player. I've had spectacles causing problems. I've had jewelry cause problems. I've had hairbands cause problems. Snoods, when they were a thing in the UK, those cause problems. Like, it is dangerous. Just because it might not happen doesn't mean that it can't happen.
Yeah,
And
this is first prevention
yeah,
before
yeah,
the game.
exactly.
This is
Prevention.
our team expect,
Be proactive.
especially image of the game.
And let's like we're setting the standard. First game of the season, we're being proactive there. We're being proactive first game of the season. That's what we're setting the standard as. If we get to round 10, 11, 12, and we're having to send a message out at that point in time, that's us being reactive. Okay. Being proactive is the key here. Proactive is setting the standard from game one that sets the standard for the whole season all the way until that final. Okay. So it's really important. Whatever we start the season with, we want to be upholding that to the end. That
And
goes for on the pitch, that goes for off the pitch.
And similar to what I said earlier, focusing on this early in your pre-match and warm-up, that helps you in your game. Don't think by being a stickler for this, it's not going to help you. It's going to cause you problems. Trust me, it doesn't. If you set your standards well and you uphold those standards in the game, players are going to know that when you say something, it matters, as opposed to when you say it, you're not actually going to back up the things you said or what you've tried to do.
Absolutely. So, proactive match control, verbal communication, and open play. So, your voice is your best communication tool on the field of play. By engaging with the players proactively during play, you help them better understand what to expect from you. Now, we mentioned it earlier, obviously, the pull on the shirt. Same with the ball coming into the penalty area from a corner. Hands down, watch where you're going. Or if we've got players jumping up for a header, arms down, go for ball, go for ball. Those little key lines there. As soon as they don't go for ball, okay, we have an incident that we've got a charging foul, we're able to give a free kick. We've got a pushing foul, we can give a free kick because we prevented that there. We've been proactive with it. We coach referees not to run with the whistle in their mouth, okay? If possible, use a lanyard that can go around your wrist or hand, okay? We don't want it going over your neck, guys, really important. It is your wrist and wrapped around your hand, really important, okay? Kind of like what the referee here has. This is a great example here, okay? It's really important. We don't want to be running a whistle in our mouth. We don't want to be talking with a whistle in our mouth. Okay. If we're talking like this. We don't have the whistle in our mouth. We're being open. We're being personable. Okay. Verbal communication can help remove the intensity of challenges and contribute to a safer match for all. And most of all, communicating effectively during a match makes you more, like I said, personable. All right. I want to be able to talk to someone who's in football as though there's someone that I've met at the cafe or I've met on the street, okay, or I've met at the shops as well. All right, we're all humans at the end of the day. Just because we're referees out on the pitch doesn't mean we have to be robotic the whole time. The best advice I ever got given was I'm quite extroverted when I'm out off the pitch. Okay, like be a bit of a I like to have a laugh. We like to have a bit of fun too. Okay, and then when I was on the pitch, I was introverted. Okay, and they said take what you do off the pitch and try and be extroverted on the pitch too. And as soon as I started doing that, my game changed. The respect that I got from the players changed. The respect I got from the coaches started to change because I was communicating. I was doing that. I wasn't just being introverted and going, nah, it's this, or being robotic. Okay. That's probably the best advice I can give on that piece there too.
Last season, I recruited a referee who was playing in the game that I was refereeing. And I just got talking to him and he said, yeah, all right, I'll sign up to referee again, because he was qualified down in New South Wales and he was up here. And that just comes from having a chat, whilst the game was going on. Obviously, you have to choose your moments, but it's a nice way of going about your day.
Yeah, 100%. So we've got a video here on proactive match control. I just remember sound. I love that little push there too.
It's a big
Probably
push, isn't it?
a big key thing there is like, and like it said on the speech bubble there, player, and then the name of the player, be careful. Get to know the players' names. You can hear the players talking to each other on the pitch. If you know that player's name is Toby, okay, you can say, Toby, be careful. So when Toby's going in and he decides to shove the player there, we've already warned Toby. All right. We're not going, number 4, be careful about going in. We're using their name so they know straight away. We go. There's your hands down. Stop holding. Okay. I hate that tactic as well when it goes in the corner. All right, but it's really important as well.
Always
If you go in the
causes
corner there,
problems.
we need to be close. You can be vocal. Stop pushing, hands down. Be careful, be careful. Using those keywords, being proactive there. So key points to remember is using verbal communication and open play helps the flow of football and ball in play time. If you use verbal communication when you give a decision, it is better received. Using your voice helps build presence, aiding match control and player reactions to your decisions. And proactive communication improves all aspects of your performance as opposed to dealing with the situation reactively. Okay. Proactive match control in set pieces. So in this situation here, we have a corner kick. We've got a corner kick that's coming in. The referee is keeping an eye on the area where the players are. And then just to the right of the screen there is obviously where that assistant referee is going to be. But they've just checked to see where the corner kick is coming in. The ball's about to come in. We've got to keep your arms down. I'm watching. Make sure we're standing up straight. Don't be giving a penalty away, or just keep it easy. Keep it easy. Okay. We're setting that expectation. Setting that expectation then lets everyone know if we call something, we've already given the heads up. Okay, what's that for? That's for the holding there. That's for the push there. It's for a handball, little things like that. We need to make sure if we're referring to the previous videos, we're not just standing in that one position. We've got to make sure we're also moving around and getting a good position there too. So proactive match control with giving an advantage in a situation. So the most important aspect of advantage is the signal is using your voice. You can't just use your hand. Okay, one hand, double hander, however you want to do it. Okay, I'm happy either or, and that's the coaching as well that goes out. You've also got to include a loud, big advantage with it, or let everyone know that we're playing advantage of some sort. By shouting advantage, it allows players to hear that you have recognized that a foul took place and you've chosen to play through to see where that attacking phase is going. Remember, players are focused on playing. All right, that's their main goal. That's what they want to get a goal. They want to move with the attacking phase. They aren't watching your signals or always know what you're meaning, but they can hear you. So they know that you've identified a foul and you call advantage. They know that, okay, we'll play on. And if they don't get anywhere, they're going to expect the free kick to be given back. All right. By using your voice, you're helping them work with you, not against you. You're being proactive there. Proactive match control helps you bring players with you.
Also, on advantage, by saying advantage, it's amazing how when a player reacts badly, once you didn't give the foul, and you say, well, I played advantage. You heard me say advantage, how much they calm down. And then also the player who committed the foul, when you say, I played advantage off that, you need to be careful. They acknowledge, they've heard it, they understand what you're talking about. And it makes everything so much more efficient.
And
Absolutely.
also, when you're giving a advantage, if the foul commit in a reckless challenge, you have to know about the number of the player. So it also the as a team
You got
together
to remember, you got
to
to
get an
come
outcome.
exactly. If you play that advantage, it goes down the other end, and the challenge was reckless. We need to make sure we're going back and booking that player. Okay. And if you're unsure what that number is, there's no harm in, if we don't have comms, going over and asking our assistant referee, hey, do you remember what number that was? And they'll be able to provide it to you, hopefully. And you can then go and sanction with a yellow card for that decision. I don't care how long it takes in some situations. If you've forgotten it, I'd rather you get the decision right. Okay.
Yeah, like a pre-match discussion is the key as well.
Yeah. So we've got video on the advantage here. It's an excellent advantage. It's a Mike Dean advantage.
He sells it so well as well, doesn't he? Holds the arm up forever. No one ever gives you credit when they score a goal.
No. So you got to sell it too.
Yeah.
That was the favorite thing about Mike Dean, was when he used to celebrate the advantage goals. What a great run by the referee there. You see him get inside that penalty area on that.
Yeah.
They went diagonal and went inside. It's perfect. Got the advantage here.
What I like about this video is how
goal.
patient the referee is, just giving it maybe. So many referees would have given up the moment and pulled it back. And then obviously the team would have been a goal worse off. So the patience here sometimes can be helpful.
Absolutely. And 22's got his arms up going, oh, what's going on here? Referee communicates the advantage. We have a shot and we have a goal. What a great way to finish a beautiful advantage there too. Okay. And because the foul wasn't reckless, we don't need to go back and book the player there. Okay. I'd really just have a conversation with the player, because it was quite a tactical one that they've done there. They've just tripped him up. Okay. Because they want the free kick ultimately there. Just have a chat to the player, be like, come on, mate, just be smarter. Okay. Little things like that. It's your money in the bank. So key points to remember: you must shout advantage. This informs everyone you've seen the foul, okay, and then we're playing on. The closer play is the goal, the safer the advantage is to play. Exempt to obviously that first video that we had. That first video, we can see there's a quick break in the attack, and the referee identifies that. They scan downfield. They can see there's a break in the attack. They stick the arm up. They yell advantage. They move down, and we have a beautiful counter-attacking goal scored.
The only caveat to that as well is, in the penalty area, it's probably best to give a penalty kick.
Yeah. Oh, 100. Yeah.
Unless like there's no way a goal is not going to be scored.
Exactly. Unless it is clear and obvious that a goal is going to be scored there.
Yeah.
Okay. Use the 4-second rule to see if the advantage has been gained by that team in those situations. And if the advantage hasn't been gained, come back and award that free kick. Okay. In the penalty area, like Adam said, award a penalty kick unless clearly a goal will be scored. All right. And you should be able to tell if a goal is going to be scored. Okay. Even if it's a case of foul occurs, ball trickles off to the attacking player, we've got an open goal. Everyone's expecting them to just pop it in the back of the net. Okay. Let him pop it in the back of the net. I hope to God they pop it in the back of the net and they don't skyrocket it over the crossbar. Last week, well, hoping we'd blown that whistle a little bit earlier.
Just hope I'm never in that position.
Yeah. I think my biggest thing here is, well, we're talking advantage and we have an attacking opportunity, and say, let's use an example case here. And I don't like what ifs, and I don't like this and that. But if we have a situation here and say we play the advantage and the team takes the shot and the shot goes wide, okay, you can have a piece of cake, and that's what the piece of cake is there. You've had the attacking opportunity. You've taken a shot on goal. You can't have the whole cake. We're not bringing it back for the free kick here. We've had that attacking option and we've taken a shot. Now it's a goal kick. That's how we're restarting. All right. So it's really important too. It also happens about 3 or 4 seconds afterwards too. I think
The
it's
other
really
thing,
good that the referee did this. No matter the score, like 8-0, no matter the score, we were able to play the attacking option. We've got a team that wants to play attacking football. We want to get on with it.
the other thing with the advantage as well is like it's a trust relationship. So like, in the first 5-10 minutes, if you don't know what kind of teams you've got, whether you can trust them and stuff like that, don't be trying to play advantages. Get on top of the game. And once you have that trust and that confidence, you know what kind of a game you're in, it's so much safer to be playing these advantages. Like I think in all these videos, you'll notice they're probably later in the game than earlier in the game for that very reason. All the referees are in full control of what's going on. You can't play advantages in situations where you're not in control of the overall football event.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll let Adam touch point on this one here, just because I don't know if I can pronounce that word correctly there, but I'll let you touch point on this one here, mate.
So equidistant, equal distant, or kind of 50-50 challenges. It's sort of when a ball pops up the same distance between two players or there or thereabouts, and then they're both going to try and challenge for that ball. They often lead to serious foul play incidents and fouls. They lead to more injuries for players. And it is possible using proactive and preventative verbal communication to really reduce the intensity of this tackle, to make sure that a player doesn't get injured, basically. So you're promoting player safety by just using your voice. There's a number of warning signs about what the equidistant, like what leads to an equidistant challenge that you can kind of recognize. To then you can be kind of like alert to it and be like, okay, I need to start using my communication now to calm this situation down. What do you reckon the warning signs are, Brad?
50-50 challenge, high speed,
Yep.
whether or not the player is looking at the ball or looking at the opposing player. Depends as well if we've got distance getting involved. So if you've got players coming from long distance versus short distance, everything like starts coming into play when we think about that.
Yep.
And really like for us as referees, even those situations, like we've all had them before, like 50-50 challenge just suddenly like goes the wrong way really, really quickly, and you just don't expect it. Just communicating with everyone, easy, let's go and easy. And then if we have a situation where it does go a bit south, we're able to get on top of it straight away. So I'm just getting a bit of feedback from, or a bit of memories from previous games we had in the
Yeah.
past with the terrible 50-50 challenges
Yeah.
in football. So, but yeah, I
Other
think
ones are, I mean, they often come when a player miscontrols the ball. I remember I had one in Ipswich. A player miscontrolled the ball and then just ended up launching themselves as an attacker was running onto the ball. And that it's often when players are making up for mistakes. It often occurs when players are kind of holding grudges against each other in the game, or sometimes when they're frustrated, when a player's frustrated at your decision or your perceived lack of decision in favor of them, and then they start kind of taking matters into their own hands. All of these are kinds of warning signs you need to be alert to on the field of play that one of these challenges could well be coming your way soon. I think I outlined them on the next slide, Brad. Yeah, there we go. So making up for a mistake, miscontrolling the ball, moving faster, as Brad mentioned, feeling frustrated, grudges, and also, yeah, being wound up verbally. That can often lead to people trying to get revenge physically.
I think that's like the session is on, being proactive is understanding your game. If you can hear the players winding each other up, and you can tell they're winding each other, especially in the junior level football, like it is
Yep.
just crazy the amount of wind up that happens. Like, get it straight away. Like, even if it's to the point where the ball goes out of play and you've got to stop play and deal with two players, I'd rather you deal with those two players there. So if something does occur, we've got to give a sanction out. We've been proactive there. I think that's like that's really important. I just want to,
It can also even be two players from their own team as well.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we saw it in the Premier League the other week. So
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, and if that occurs, like I think it's really important as well. Like, get the captains over, have a chat to them, because like we're protecting the image of the game too. That's the important piece. Is us as referees, we've got to protect the image of the game. I think this one here too, I want to, like, again, we've taken it from a perspective as like referees only. Like, I think it's really important to understand, like, even as assistant referees, just because like my mentality is like our referee versus assistant referees. Referee gets 360-degree views of a game, whereas an assistant referee only generally gets about 90 degree versus 180 degrees. So they've got very limited movement up and down a line. So if you're having situations like this, Misuk, and you've got a 50-50 challenge that's happening in front of the assistant referee, and the referee's on, like, say, the opposing angle, and they're not too close to play. They're not in close proximity. How could we, as assistant referees, be proactive in these situations?
If the referee far from the situation, maybe I said, I'm here, I'm watching, just give the information. And then the most important thing is the 50-50 challenging is how the play point of contact is really important. Who is the play first, or who is the fair challenging or not? So how force continue into the opponent. So this is all a small detail you can tell the referee the what situation you have. I think this is more important, and then give the what your point of view to see the foul occur.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't like in most cases too, like I mentioned earlier, don't be rushing in to making a decision. If you've got to take a second to bring the referee over, have a discussion. In some cases, like we're able to have that discussion to get the right outcome at the end of the day. But as you mentioned earlier, Miso, if you got that 50-50 challenge, like as assistant referees, we're not just statues for the game. Okay. We're not just calling offsides and throw-ins. Let's be a part of the game. Be proactive. Use our voice, communicate. I'm here, hands down, or I'm here, ball only, watch the speed, watch the contact. Let them know you're watching the game. It's not just the ref watching the game, it's also the assistant referee that's watching the game. It's really important to have that presence as the assistant referee. I think we've got a video example here for equidistant challenge. Yeah, another key one there is like the area that's in. It's almost in front of that technical area. Okay.
Yep.
Almost in front of that technical area.
I like that part of the video as well, where it says by recognizing the signs in the build up, it makes the decision easier. You're already prepping your mind for what is a big decision. You're about to send a player off. So it just takes away that kind of scintilla of doubt when you've realized it's a miscontrolled ball. I've got players at distance. It helps you work through those considerations.
Yeah, absolutely. We do have those players coming in at high speed, especially the light blue player here. Okay. It's not a pretty challenge.
It is not. None of them are in this video, I'm afraid.
Here we go. We've got a 50-50. Oh. That referee's got a really good angle of view there too, because it happens really quickly.
And they take their time when it comes to the sanctioning, which we'll get into in sanctioning technique later.
Yeah. So that's that straight leg. There's that point of contact there too.
Again, in that third hot zone, in front of, technical areas and in that kind of area of the field.
Yeah. They get in front of that technical area. Like, don't think it's just the referee that's responsible for that there too. Like, the assistant referee can go and have a word with that technical area, make sure we're talking to them. So I just want to replay that one there. Referees have all got good positions in that situation too, and they are being proactive. They're talking through the players, and they come with high speed there, and a lot like it is already 50-50 challenges. They're coming in with a high speed there. They're going to look to go for ball, and in some cases, a worst case scenario, they end up not getting the ball and getting the opponent as well in those situations. It's really like, I think we touched point on it a few weeks back when we were around the workshop, and I think the word intention gets thrown around a fair bit. Like, there's no player intention here. If we're talking intention, we can't talk about player intention here because they're playing football. They're both playing football here. They're both going for the ball. Okay.
Well, the intention is to win the ball. That's kind of the
Exactly.
only.
That's
the only thing we can say they're both intending to do.
There's nothing more than that. Same with all the previous other fouls. There's nothing more than that. Okay. The only time we got to bring intention into cases and situations is when violent conduct occurs, and neither of these situations that we've shown in these videos are violent conduct. So, really, like, these are footballing challenges and what we consider serious foul play. So, key points to remember. We've got considerations for serious foul play, as previously mentioned. Is speed is the challenge faster than the expected speed of play. Force is the challenge made with excessive force, endangering the safety of an opponent. Point of contact is contact made high above expected football contact and full on the opponent. All right. So when we say is the contact high, we're talking from ankle up as well. Okay. Contact on the boot, we can, like, I don't want to get into grey areas about saying contact on the boot and ankle area, guys. Like, if it meets the criteria, speed and force and everything too, okay, we're considering it serious foul play.
I always say, yeah, I was just about to say, if you have like 2 out of 3 of these, if you have speed and force, you're probably going to have a point of contact. If you have point of contact and force, you're going to have speed. Like, they all feed into each other like that. So you only need to identify 2.
And take the right picture to get that right one there too. Proactive match control, correct sanctioning technique. So sanctioning a player is a moment of peak match control. So a sanction informs the players responsible that their actions were unacceptable. It also informs everyone else on the field of play where the line is drawn between acceptable and unacceptable. Using the correct sanctioning technique asserts your match control, and using incorrect sanctioning techniques undermines your match control. So I think, like, when we talk about what are key features to correct sanctioning techniques, I think, like, it shows that you're in control of the game. As a referee, you must be in control of the game. There are going to be points where you don't feel control because it feels like the players are taking control. So you've got to bring it back within your control. Okay. And most of the time, it does come down to this correct sanctioning technique. Okay. You want to have control of the whole game. As soon as you let slip and it goes into the player's control for a game, then the game starts getting a little bit out of hand. You can start hearing it. You can start feeling it. Okay. It's really important that we have that control during the game. What are the key features to a correct sanctioning technique? So these are the correct sanctioning techniques that we've identified here. So don't rush in with your card to sanction a player. Okay. So especially if you've got players all crowding around in a situation, you ain't going in, throwing a yellow, throwing a red card. It's just going to rile up the situation even more. We want to make sure we're calming the situation down. Isolate the players from others, ensuring them to calm down too. If necessary, the captain can be present using the captain's only guidelines. So you can bring the captain over, explain the situation, and then obviously give the sanction out, whether it's red or yellow. Ensure the player is always facing you. Okay. Standing upright, looking at you. All right. I don't want them fixing their socks, shoes, shin pads. Don't be talking to them. If we've got players doing that, guys, it's respect. Get them to stand up. We can talk. We can have a human conversation. Okay. Explain the reason in the law to the player why they're being sanctioned and remind them of what is not and what is acceptable. Record the player's number and sanction you're giving in your notebook. So make sure you record it. And we say notebook, write it in your notebook. Don't be using your smartwatch. I know there's a lot of smartwatches going around, but if this data suddenly becomes corrupt, you need to make
It's not just that. Looking at your watch in this moment undermines your leadership and undermines the rapport you're building with the player in that moment, because they look like they don't know what you're doing, right? Whereas a notebook, it just looks and feels more professional.
Yeah. And that last one there is raise your card as high as possible so it's clear for everyone to see. I'm going to say high, like you want to hold it up right. Even if you've got to go in the mirror and have a look to see how you're holding cards. I don't want to be seeing flat cards. It's going to be upright in the air. Boom, there's a yellow card, or boom, there's a red card. All right. Please avoid sanctioning at distance. Okay. Don't be long distance away. The only time we could apply something like this is if we've got a quick attack that's just happening. So we've got a quick free kick and we needed to quickly sanction a player. We're able to point at them as well from distance. Okay. And then that next one they're pointing and sanctioning. In those situations there, it's only really in regards to, like, we've got a quick free kick. We want to, the team wants to get on with the game. Okay. We've got to make sure we're able to give that sanction there. In most cases,
potentially like a goalkeeper, a goal kick or something, and it would just be
Yeah.
counterintuitive to make all that distance up just to go and sanction them. Like, as long
Yep.
as it's really clear who you're sanctioning.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not expecting you to run 60 meters to go right up in the face of the goalkeeper and give him a booking. Like, I think
Always
football
expecting you
expects
to.
you can stand where you are, the near the halfway line. Rushing through the process, like, breathe. Okay, get your steps in right. If you get your steps in right, okay, you're able to get the right conclusion. You're able to get the right sanction. We get the right outcome. And please avoid shouting and being flustered. As soon as you show that, the players feel it, you lose control. Keep calm and composed. Okay. Remember, the sanctions are non-negotiable part of the referee's role. You can't you can't negotiate your way out of a yellow card, just like you can't negotiate your way out of a penalty kick. Okay, unless the attacking player owns up to diving. Well, like, it's not doable.
I think
It's been-
also a lot of junior referees and a lot of first year referees, they get a bit card shy. They feel like it's going to cause them a lot of problems by doing that. And it's not. It's something everyone expects the referee to do in a game. It's a crucial part of how you manage a game. And once everyone walks past that white line, they're expecting to pick up cards. That's your job. It's your role. That's why it's non-negotiable. You have to do it. And everyone expects it, and it helps you.
So, and that, like you said, participants expect them to be given out. Yeah. But it's so true though, mate. Like, they expect them to be given out. So don't be shy. Like, if your gut's telling you that's a yellow card, or your gut's telling you that's a red card, okay, that's what football expects. All right. And I know a lot of us coming through, and I know I was the same case when I was coming through as a young referee. We're out there to try and make friends, guys. Like, we're out there to make the right decision. The integrity of the game is what we're trying to uphold. To protect the game too is what we're trying to uphold. So, really,
and in doing that, you'll make more friends. You'll build a better reputation. You will get more respect by doing this properly and making sure you give them out. Whereas avoiding it, trying to not do the right things, and it undermines the way people perceive you.
Remember, the sanctioning they're designed to remove emotion from the game, not add to it. Okay, and not using sanctions, it makes refereeing harder. Okay, and when we say that, very much harder. If there's a reckless challenge in the first minute of the game and you're not calling that foul, you're not calling that sanction or that yellow card first minute of the game, you have a tough rest of the game. Okay, set the standard straight away. If it is a reckless foul in the first minute of the game, reckless is yellow, we give a yellow card. And then every challenge that is exactly like that in the game or more, we know what sanctions applied. And so do the players. Okay. So we've got some sanctioning technique. We've got a sanctioning technique video here.
Love the music.
So this is around persistent infringement. Now, in these cases here, proactiveness is really important. Okay. Really, if we've got a first foul, it's the first one that occurs. If we start having a player that does it 2, 3 more times, we need to be having a conversation with that player. Hey, no more, cut it out. You're on thin ice. Please be really careful. Okay. I think communicating that's key. So when we get to that fourth or that fifth one here, where it becomes persistent infringement, okay, we can identify. I spoke to you down there in the corner. I spoke to you just at the halfway line. I've spoken to you here again now too. That's one too many. Here's your yellow card for persistent infringement. Okay. And I think that one there.
I think we're a bit out of sync on this video for some reason.
It's an arm in the back. Is that one there. So really important. If we're jumping up, we've got an arm going through the back of a player. We need to be giving a sanction in those situations. Sorry, the videos decided to jump here too. Techniques to avoid.
This is great. It's really patient. He waits for them to get up, and it looks so much stronger than carding them when they're on the floor.
Yeah. And you get those situations there where, and there are going to be teams that want to play the ball quick, and knowing Lions, they wanted to play the ball quick here. They're 2-0 up. They probably want to see if there's an attacking phase. We got the Brisbane Roar team here wanted to stand in front of the ball. Okay, probably communicate and vocalize yourself as a referee here. Guys, back. I'm writing the yellow card down. Just get back. Okay, communicating that will then de-escalate some of the situations, especially we've got players handling each other down here. We've got a technical area sanction like this one here. Come across to the technical area and point to the person you're sanctioning. It's probably a situation where it's probably important you can point. These happened a couple of times now on the A-Leagues this season. Here we go. Go into the situation. Let the
On
player
this
get
one,
up.
can you put
Yeah.
the sound on for this one for us? I think it's
Yeah.
this one.
But no, the turn it off. So yeah, foul there, Framer. Framer's gonna get a yellow card. Another City player in the book. That'll be the.
Oh, I think it's one of the videos on that video where the commentator says, "I've got no idea who just got a
Yellow
sanction
card.
there." I think it's that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the yellow card. Quite sure who that was aimed at, to be honest, but someone has gone into the book there.
Not sure who it was, but it was someone.
I'm just going to
Player
fast
in the
forward
book.
this
That'll
one.
be the.
Playing that one there. If we've got a player on the ground injured, let's give the sanction and bring someone on straight away. Okay. Because most importantly, that player can stay on if the physios come on now too. Okay. Sanction is a moment to demonstrate your match control. Take your time, be calm and authoritative. Okay. Avoid pointing at groups of players, sanctioning players on the floor, raising your card to a player's back, sanctioning players over long distance, and always isolate players and ensure you face them when presenting a sanction, just like in this photo here too. And as mentioned, this is a perfect example of straight up in the air, yellow card straight up in the air too. Proactive match control within the technical area. So managing technical area, it starts before the kickoff. Like we mentioned earlier, if you're the AR on the game, you can go and talk to both technical areas and set your standards, okay? Set your expectations. I'm expecting bibs on, no balls being played with on the sideline during warm-ups, okay? To set your standards and set your expectations early. I'm not going to go too much into this because I just briefly summarized that too. But again, I think it's really important, especially the bottom one, the second bottom one there. The longer these go unaddressed, the harder it is for you to control both in your match and across the season. Okay. So if you get it done right the first game of the season, we can continue it for the rest of the season too. All right. It's really important. These are non-negotiables and must be acted on within all levels of football, especially in the technical area. We want to protect the image of the game. Protecting the image of the game is really important. So it wasn't. It was the coach at the beginning of the video there was quite animated, jumped up and down, throwing his arms up in the air. Okay. It wasn't the first time they've done it. This is actually the second time they've done it in the game too. And the referee already warned him the first time. And then that's why the referee was arms up looking at the coach. It's like, hey, I've already spoken to you. And the final outcome was for booking the coach situation there. Again, it comes back to protecting the image for the game. What do we want to see? That's AR1. One coach standing up at all times. One coach standing up at all times. This bench area, even if we have the benches or the substitute players standing around, guys, substitute players can't be standing around, warming up, stretching, okay? They've got to be actively doing something. If they're not doing something, they can sit down. Okay? Really important. It de-escalates situations, especially if a foul occurs in right in front of the technical areas. Okay? It's probably like that real important piece as assistant referee one, like you do have the power in that situation. It doesn't matter if you don't have a fourth official, you do have the power in that situation. So if something does escalate, have used that ask, tell, remove process, you bring the referee over to deal with it too. Here we go. Another example case. We've got 3 coaches standing up in this technical area here.
It's no surprise there's a correlation between people standing and cards being given out.
Yeah. This one here. We got 1. We've got the head coach on the left there. 2, 3, 4. And the 4th official is coming across there too in that game.
I think there's 6 people in this one.
And this it looks like that person's on a phone as well. We can't be having someone on the phone in the technical area. This one here, again, it comes down to proactiveness at the start of the game, setting your expectation early. I want one standing up. And then if we have situations occurring during the game, looking at the bench, looking at the technical area, because if you look, one of these players is already looking at the assistant referee one. All the assistant referee needs to do is walk down a bit, hands up, please take a seat, dealing with the situation. If the coach decides to add a few words in, I'll have a chat to you soon. Please, players, sit down. We're going to deal with that now. The referee usually won't start until the AR1 is ready.
And if it's happening in one technical area, you can guarantee it's going to happen in the other one, and then you've got double the amount of problems you've got to deal with. Whereas if you just got on it to begin with, you haven't got, you're just not compounding your issues.
Yeah. So key points to remember here, especially with competition rules stating that all players must remain seated unless moving to and from a warm-up. One person in the technical area is allowed to convey tactical instructions from the technical area. So that means standing up as well. All other members of the technical area and subs must be seated while in the technical area. Okay. The coach and other officials must remain within the confines of their technical area, except in special circumstances. So those circumstances are probably going to be your physio, when the physios have got to come on or the doctor's got to come on. Okay. So they're your special circumstances.
Doing a sub, yeah.
Yeah, or if you're doing a sub, yeah, exactly. We've got anything else to add to what we've seen there at all team and around? I think it's just really important as well. We've got to be proactive, not reactive to every key piece in the game. Okay, and it starts from the first minute. It starts from the first game. It starts in preseason too, believe it or not. Okay, we don't want to be coming into week 10 and we hear the referee last week, let me do this. Guys, we were proactive. We set this standard. We set an expectation from day one.
I think a big part of it as well is I think a lot of referees kind of assume people know this stuff, and they don't. Coaches don't know this stuff. Players don't know this stuff. They don't know what standard we're expecting to uphold. They expect you to uphold it, and therefore you have to verbally communicate that to them in the moment to remind them what to do. Never assume knowledge. And if you don't assume knowledge and you manage these situations before they become problems, then it's just really going to help your game.
Absolutely. All right. And I think that finishes another coaching session from us here at the Football Queensland Referee Department. Now, with those videos that we've been using the past few times here, we're going to make them accessible within the referee resources online. So if you wanted to watch these videos back or utilize them within any coaching space or utilize them before a football match for your own refereeing purposes on a game, absolutely, you should. We will have this accessible for you online on the referee resources on Football Queensland. But thanks for listening in again for another coaching session, and we'll be back soon.
Ciao, ciao.